Alright, good evening everybody. It's Saturday night, which means we are live here with the Cyber Racing Association's Homes Now Not Later Super Speedway Series, where tonight, once again, we are back here at Monza, Italy tonight in the fixed K&N cars. We will be doing the Frank Foster Memorial Race here tonight. As we can see, hopefully we're not going to see a repeat of what we saw with the open trucks, but you never know. These cars, I have to say though, very, very impressive. These guys are hitting 220 miles an hour going off into the corners. I know we talk a lot about these cars at Daytona and Talladega where they run 205, 206, sometimes we even see 208 going off in the corner, but 220? Come on now, it's like Formula One right there. And these guys have 60 laps that they're going to be going tonight. There's going to be 3 stages at lap 20, 40, and then the final checker coming out at lap 60. And as always, there will be 3 laps allocated for 1 attempt at a green-white checker. You guys have been around this series long enough to know they have 1 quick fix. The old rules, for those of you that are new, there are no longer any wavebys. You have to get it from the iRacing Lucky Dog or stay out in front of the pace car, get your lap back the old school way. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how these guys approach tonight's race after knowing how the open truck race went, and especially seeing how they had limited drivers for testing to build a set here. Still impressive to see, looking at the board, the top spot in practice going to none other than the series sponsor, the 58 of Jim Peterson with a 43.566. Followed up by the 11 of Jason Kinzer with a 43.719, and then the 3 of Paul Servant with a 43.733. So some blazing fast times around this huge ass track here in Italy. And as Mike had pointed out the last time we were here, the steepest banking that we have seen in all of any of where these guys have run ever. I believe it was what, 38 degrees there, Mike?
Yeah, it was 38 degrees.
It kind of feels almost like 38 degrees now that I turn the AC back on. My pedals are freezing once again, but yeah, 38 degrees of banking here is absolutely ridiculous. It's nothing that we're used to in the NASCAR world, but hey, we're in Italy, so once again we hit the wine bar up on the way. This time they actually had some good roasted lamb, so it's gonna be interesting to see if we can manage it for the whole race without having to run to the bathroom at some point. On a side note, did Brett Bodine make it off the plane this time?
No, he's on the FAA's do not fly list now.
Oh, crap. Well, I guess we couldn't get Emerson Fittipaldi because it was such short notice. We have, I believe, Michael Andretti, so you know he won't be cranking. You see the 87 there of Raymond Rittenauer as he makes his way out of turn 4. That's going to be the spot to watch throughout the entire race. The exit off of turn 4, as we saw last time they ran here with the trucks, proved to be almost, well, not almost, it proved to be fatal a few times. As we saw the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., the 00 of Dwayne Cooper, they both ended up on Monza Jr., so we also saw, and thank God I was watching in practice, everybody's kind of figured out that Monza is a 1-groove track. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of guys trying to dip down to the low line in the corners. They'll wait to try and time their passes on either the back stretch or the front stretch. We take a look, we can see there the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Hopefully this time he actually survives the entire one. Last time we had to pick up his body and glue him back together, but if you guys were around last Saturday, he brought home the W at Daytona, so he's looking to do back-to-back here. As we can see there, luckily he was able to lock it down before he damaged that car anymore. As we see Mike's favorite car, the 89 of Matthew Quick and the Psychedelic Kitty making his way around the track.
Love that paint job.
That's one of the most freakiest paint jobs. I'm glad he doesn't run it in BPRL though, because if I was behind him and had to see that in the Gen 6 car, I would probably start laughing and I'd hit the wall a lot more than I normally do.
Yeah, there's something about looking at the back of that car and seeing that serious cat back there. It just kind of makes me freaked out.
Well, it reminds me of Super Troopers. And then I'll just be sitting behind the wheel randomly going, meow. We're still waiting for some of the first times to roll in here. Looking at the top spot, we've got the 3 of Paul Servant with a 47.090. Second right now, we have the 44 of David Anderson with a 47.105. The 00 Dwayne Cooper third with a 47.134. Fourth, the 8 of Dana Osborne with a 47.151. And around up the top 5 will be the 58 of Jim Peterson with a 47.177. And while these guys are out here running their laps, we're going to go ahead and bring out the U.S. Army Marching Band. We brought them once again all the way from Fort Campbell, and we will bring you tonight's national anthem. Amazing job as always, which is going to lead us into tonight's starting lineup. On pole, the 3 of Paul Servant, starting to his outside, the 44 of David Anderson. Rolling off third tonight will be the 00 of Dwayne Cooper to his outside, fellow teammate, the 8 of Dana Osborne. Rolling off from fifth spot tonight will be the 58 of Jim Peterson. Raymond Rittenhauer in the 87 will roll off sixth. The 89 of Matthew Quick starts seventh tonight. The 66 of Bobby Tinch will roll off from the 8th spot. Mark Jorgensen Jr. in the 81 will start 9th. The 88 of Gregory Thompson will round out the top 10. 72 of Daniel Jackson will start from the 11th spot. The 29 of Matthew Elzenbach 12th. The 26 of Daniel Holloway will roll off 13th. And rounding out tonight's field will be the 11 of Jason Kinzer. So as we are here on the pace lap, it's going to be an interesting start here as we're going to focus on the 3 of Paul Servant. As we're looking inside here, we can see that tonight the Southern Thunder team's kind of been broken up a little bit with the pole and then 5th, 7th, and then all the way back to what the hell's Junior at? Back to 14th. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys, if they can get hooked up with each other. We're going to go ahead and take a look real quick here. You can see right there, special emblems there on the hood of that number 3 machine. Normally you're used to seeing the Oreo, but this is for the Frank Foster Memorial, which is tonight's race. So it's great to see the guys. You can also see the 8 of Dana Osborne as he's got that on the hood as well. So hats off to the guys for making the time to change up their paint schemes a little bit here, as once again we are doing the Frank Foster Memorial race here. As the pace car makes its way through turns 3 and it's now exiting 4, it'll be heading down into the paddocks. I know that's a weird word to say, especially when we're saying pit road, but that's what it is. So pace car is going to make its way down, and the 3 of Paul Servant is going to lead us into the start of the race.
Green flag.
Green flag is out, and we are underway. These guys wasting no time, as we can see. As they come off of turn 2 for the first time, they fan out. Like mentioned in the pre-race, this is the only place that these guys are really going to be able to make any passes safely. So they're really going to have to stay in order through the corners. We saw with the trucks when they got down there below that yellow line, they would, well, I coined the term, it was about the same equivalent as trying to come off of the apron of the track and then up onto the bank of Bristol at 200 plus miles an hour. So I think these guys learned a little something with the trucks, and they're going to put on a lot better, because we see the shower of sparks there as they make their way into turns 1 and 2. We saw the 81 of Martin Jorgensen Jr. there get a little bit of the wall there. And as we see a little bit is shuffled up here as the 8 of Dana Osborne is out front. Now he's being challenged to the outside by the 44 of David Anderson. Wisely, these guys are going to back it down and run single file through the corners. That is undoubtedly the safest move that they can do here. Now the most impressive part. Let's pull a drop down on him. Let's just take a look at this number over here. Look at this speed. Just put this into perspective. A fixed K&N car, and then look at the speeds. I saw almost 220 miles an hour right there. I think 217. That is absolutely insane for these cars. So we see the 44 David Anderson still trying to get around. He's easily able to do so this time, as now we've got the 00, the 8, and the 3 hooked up. So that's 3 out of the 4 Southern Thunder teammates nose to tail there.
Tell you what, Art, these guys are doing a fantastic job, and they learned a lot from that truck race. And they are just keeping it single file. They're making their passes on the straightaway, and no one's dying yet.
Keyword is yet, but I have to 100% agree with you that these guys learned an invaluable lesson when they were back here, 3 weeks ago with the open truck setup, where we just saw trucks flying off the track left and right. We saw Artie Peterson Jr. with his amazing backflip on the backstretch when he hit the fence head-on. So these guys definitely, it's disorganized chaos, or it looks so there on the front stretch and the backstretch. But I think these guys have really, really learned that to be fast and to stay green, they need to do exactly what they're doing. Is now we can see, and I think we've got to give props here to the 81 of Old Junior there, because now look at him. We've got Southern Thunder 1, 2, 3, and 4. So Junior started in 14th, and he's already up 10 spots. So obviously, he's doing something right. As we saw there coming through the corners, the 89 of Matthew Quick, a little bit loose, but luckily he was able to keep it down there, so he'll gather it back up. And with the way these cars suck up here and the speeds that they're running, it won't be anything before he's able to get hooked back up, and it's not going to affect him. There you can see the 89 of Matthew Quick. He's got several cars back there to help him, so despite getting loose down there, he is still going to be fine, as he's got about half the pack back there with him. We can see there the lead pack, and then the look back to the second half of the field here. The 89 of Matthew Quick leading that backpack there from 7th position on back to 14th. Now, here's something I've wanted to do. I want to go on board with these guys. I want to see how crazy it is driving around this track. And as I thought, and saw this in practice, these cars are catching some airtime as they're coming off the front stretch into turn 1. We have a battle, looks like, going for the lead here. We're going to go up to the front here. We're riding on board with the 81.
Caution.
Oh, we had a wreck behind.
Save us some fuel whenever you can, but doing a really good job. Tell me about your race car when you can.
I believe that's going to be teammate on teammate violence. So we're going to go ahead, and as the pace car comes out, we're going to be working our first caution, and we're going to get you guys the replay. Keep your eyes on that number 8 Chevy as they come in the corner here. You see, he just gets a little bit sideways and just goes around, and unfortunately, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper was right there and got a little piece of that one as well, but also the 44 of David Anderson, but it's weird. It's like the car just snapped on him there. So as the field catches the pace car here in turn 3, we have already gotten 9 laps completed. Now, once again, the stages tonight will be 20, 40, and 60. We're going to go back again, and we're going to go on board for another replay with the 8 of Dana Osborne. here we are on board with the 8. Wow, you can see there in turn 1 he was already loose a little bit just from that line that he was running. We see him charging up through the field. He checks up a little bit. And then there you can see counter steer already. And then just went around. Wow. So he was already loose and there was just nothing that he could do. That was just flat out the car got out from underneath him. I think that's the first time we've seen that. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was watching that replay. He hit 220 miles an hour before he started checking up. So I don't know if that played any factor in it, but it might have, because he dropped from 220 to 207, and then he was in the corner, and the 44 was on him. So he might have just got aero loose. Who knows? I mean, Paul made the set, so you really never know how many laps they got on it, how many draft laps they got on it.
Well, I do know that Paul was the only one that showed up, and the setup was made by Paul, seeing how he was the only one there. And I know that they threw up some practice rooms so the drivers could get as many laps in as possible to get used to the setup. So what it looked like to me is that, I think you hit it on the head there. He was at 220 miles an hour. We know that when they make the transition off of either the back stretch or the front stretch into the banking, the cars already have a huge pocket of air underneath them. I think what happened is he just had too much air under the car, which started the chain of events there. It got him a little bit loose, and then it just turned into a tank slapper, and he just couldn't recover from it. And with Monza being as tight as it is, and pretty much being a one-groove track through the corners, I think it was honestly safest for the 44 of Dave Anderson to make that little bit of contact that he did with the 8, rather than check up, because I think what we would have seen is we would have seen a multi-car pileup rather than just the 8 going around. But we've got to give a lot of credit to the 8 of Dana Osborne, because he did a hell of a job chasing that car, locking it down, getting it refired in the right direction, and minimizing the damage between his car and anybody else's. And we will go at least 2 more rounds. So while we're working our first caution here, we are going to cut to our first commercial break of the night and return with the action live here at Monza Speedway. All right, well, we came back just at the right time here. Pace car is getting ready to make its way back down pit road again here, and the 89 of Matthew Quick is going to lead us into the restart here.
Green flag.
The green flag is back out. We are back underway. Lap 11 underway. can't help but keep this driver drop down. This is absolutely just insane how fast these cars are going and how quick they're getting up to speed. Oh, so you see the 66 of Bobby Tinch hard on the wall there. And looks like that's the 8 of Dana Osborne again.
What's your car doing,
We're
bud?
going to be back under caution here. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a look there and see what happened. And I'm going to bet that it's going to be the same thing. We're riding on board with the 66. There we see it again, just looseness going into the corner there. Bobby able to hold it up into the wall. We can see in that little side view mirror the 8 of Dana Osborne going around too, so we're going to back up and we're going to check from that angle as well. But once again, it was another carbon copy repeat of what we saw last time. So you can see there the 8 trying to get it gathered around. We're going to back it up a little bit. This is right as they took the green flag here. They didn't really get around for one lap, but we're going to see what happens. Keep your eyes once again also now on the 8 of Dana Osborne. You'll see that second car up in the front, that's the 66 of Bobby Tinch. We already saw what happened there, but keep your eyes there on the number 8 machine. You see Bobby's already in the wall, and it looks like Dana might have just locked it down. And then he gets collected by the 00 of Dwayne Cooper, so that's twice we've seen the 8 and the 00 dancing together.
I'm pretty sure we need to separate those two cars.
Yeah, somebody needs to go in timeout. So as we are under our second caution of the race, the 66 of Bobby Tinch using his fast repair already, as well as the 8 of Dana Osborne. Hopefully these guys are going to have enough left to where they can actually finish the race out. And I'm trying to remember how many we had that actually finished the truck race, so hopefully the numbers don't equal out, because that would not be good.
I want to say the truck race was either 3 or 5 finished on the lead lap.
Yeah, let's hope that we get a little bit better out of that. Although the one thing I think that is going to be, I think, the downfall is the speed that these cars are carrying. These guys are just going to have to be extremely careful as they make their way from the front stretch on the turn 1 and from the back stretch into turn 3, as we saw it bit the 66 in the ass as well as the 8 of Dana Osborne.
Yeah, another thing you got to wonder is when they made this setup, obviously Paul was probably running by himself, but now if they're hitting 220 miles an hour going in, how hot are these tires getting and how's the tire wear? Because it's kind of weird to loop it on lap 8 and lap 9 and then lap, but it's possible some of these guys didn't expect that, didn't take tires, and that's what caused that last caution.
There's a lot of different variables, but I think you're right when you said this. Since Paul is the only one out here, I don't know how many drivers actually ran this in the draft other than practice. And now that we have the entire field out here, I think we're seeing something that might not have been able to show its ugly little head until the race. And that's the fact that these cars are getting airborne naturally, and then just throw in higher speed on top of that, and that bubble of air that you get under the car. And I mean, when we went on board and we were watching just normal laps, we were seeing a little bit of right counter steer going into the car just to keep it turning left. So these cars look like they're naturally a little bit loose with the excessive amount of speed that they're carrying. So I think we might actually have to, as much as it defeats the purpose, maybe just slow the pace down a little bit here if the racing continues to keep dictating what it's doing right now. That bad air and the air time that the car is getting, that is just a recipe for disaster. All right, let's ride on the back panel of the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., our race leader. As you can hear right there, he was clutching it. You'll probably hear him do it again. And another thing I think we need to note that last time we were here, we heard that what me and Mike like to call door slamming techno. iRacing had a glitch where the sound of the car bottoming out would repeat itself over and over and over again. Yeah, they've patched that right now. They've taken away the bottoming out sound period until they could figure out what the hell is causing that. So that's good to hear that these cars aren't just going over and over. Even though it was kind of amusing, and I think after about 40 laps, me and Mike kind of were like twitching our head to the beat to it, but it's good to see the iRacing patch that.
Yeah, they took out all the scraping sounds in general, so even if they scrape the wall, we're not going to hear that.
As we see, it looks like they're going to double up. Lights on the pace car are out. So here is our restarting order. With the lead, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. to his outside. Well, that's not right. Unless it's got to get... it'll be the 3 of Paul Servant. There we go. They got to get it sorted up. Third goes to the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer. The 26 of Daniel Holloway. Fourth, the 44 of David... No, 44. This is so hard to do when these guys are driving back and forth past each other here. Stay still, guys, damn it. All right, since Monza here, these guys are bouncing back and forth. It's not like normal pacing laps here at Daytona or Talladega, so the order is going to be a little bit snafu'd. Obviously, we can see the 81, the 3, the 87, the 44, the 26, the 58, the 88, the 66, the 00, and the 11. There's your top 10. I will do it one way or the other, damn it. So we've already gone through the first stage, so this will be starting the second stage now, as the first stage ended under caution. The pace car makes its way off once again.
Green flag,
green flag is out. We are back underway. Let's see how long these guys can stay revved up this time. They went 9 laps the first time. See if they can beat 9.
Let's hope everyone's up tires as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know about you, Mike, but I'm glad that this is the last time that we're going to see Monza, because I hate this track.
I like it, but at the same time, I hate it.
Well, if it's a hosted session where we're doing the awesome jumps and we're just screwing around, then yes, I love the track. Or if we're running the Grand Touring Cup, where you're running the combined road course and oval, then I love it too. But if it was for a league, or God forbid, when the trucks actually officially ran here, God, what was that? 5 or 6 seasons ago. This will be the white flag for the first stage here. So the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. trying to hold off the 3 of Paul Servant, the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, the 44 of David Anderson. As we see, drivers trying to make the move here on the backstretch. The only safe place they could do that other than the front stretch. As they come through 3, and they're going to exit off of turn 4 here. Let's see if anybody's got something for the 81, and they will not. It will be the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. winning stage 1 here at Monza.
Caution.
So that caution
Throughout
will
the
be
course
the
of that
end of
last
the
run,
stage.
did you see any rubber
wreck,
laying down at all?
The only thing is that means that we're going to have to double them back up again, and they're going to have to get sorted back out single file.
You know, Art, there's just something about this track that really makes me happy watching guys do 220 miles an hour in a single file line.
Normally we're all for 5, 6, 7, and 8 wide racing, but here, 220 miles an hour single file, yeah, that puts a good smile on my face. So as we see the field bunching up behind the pace car, these guys have just been down pit road only a couple laps ago, so I highly doubt we're going to see barely anybody come down pit road. You know, they literally were just down it a few laps ago, and they only put about a lap or so on these tires. But then again, you never know. At 220 miles an hour, we don't know what the fall off is on the tires. We don't know how hard it heats, how fast it heats them up, how much rubber it's flinging off the tires. We do know that they are running the fixed fuel load. I think that's another thing that's playing into it too, is the car already being naturally light because of the low fuel load in it, the speeds that we're seeing, the transition from the straightaways to the banking. Those are all playing huge factors as to why we saw the cars getting loose earlier on. And by bringing up the race summary, we are on our third caution, but this one is for the stage end. We have 2 cautions that were wreck-induced, as we do. Once again, this is what I love about these guys. Every freaking time I say something, they always contradict me. So we've got 20 laps completed out of the scheduled 60 to go. Our current race leader was the 81, but right now it'll be the 00 of Dwayne Cooper as he stayed out, as we can see right there. Now, once again, those 3 extra laps are allocated for 1 green-white checkered attempt here, which hopefully we will not have to see. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring the 3 of Paul Servant in here, and we're going to see if we can get some inside knowledge. Hey, Paul, it's Art in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
We just had a quick question for you. Seeing how you guys are hitting 220 miles an hour, we've seen loose being a big factor in the corner. How bad are the tires tonight?
Pretty good, actually. 99, 100, 99 laps, and 90, 98, 97 rear end, the rear right, and the right front's all right.
As we saw the 8 of Dan Osborne, the 66 of Bobby Tinch. It looks like, I think it's just a combination of, I think the cars are getting a little bit too much air underneath from the transition going from the straightaways into the corner. Couple that with the speed and the limited fuel, we're seeing some of the cars tank slapping through the corners, and that's what brought out the last 2 cautions. But we wanted to get a perspective from one of the drivers. So the tires aren't really wearing that bad, but I think it's just the speed, the light fuel load, and then just all the suspension offload in the corners there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty stable. I mean, I'm not having issues with it. You know, I'm lifting and not pushing at certain points on the track. You know, when you see guys too wide going into a turn, you know, somebody's got to give the spot. That's not helping them either. You know, give it up. Don't fight for it.
Well, we learned that especially from the truck race, and we've noticed that a lot of them have been backing off a little bit, and especially seeing in the corner staying single file. But we just wanted to drag you down here for a minute to see what was going on, and hopefully we see that number 3 machine in one piece, and we get to interview tonight in Victory Lane.
Oh, this is fun, man. 220 some odd miles an hour, man. This is great.
Who would believe it with the K&Ns? One of the slowest cars that actually goes the fastest on a plate.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
We love it. I wish every race was the K&N. Well, once again, good luck to you, Paul, and hopefully we see you at the end of Victory Lane.
Thank you, sir.
That was the 3 of Paul Servant as the lights on the pace car are out. Once again, we can see the 00 of Dwayne Cooper will be our race leader here on the restart. The 3 of Paul Servant starting to his outside. Then we have the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, the 89 of Matthew Quick, the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., the 44 of David Anderson, the 26 of Daniel Holloway, the 11 of Jason Kinzer, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 88 of Gregory Thompson. So, Mike, that was interesting to hear. The tires aren't really playing that much, but you did hear that Paul said he was lifting in the corners. Now, you got to wonder, are some of the other drivers not putting that one little element in there?
Yeah, some guys might just be hammered down the whole time and expecting it to stick like it would on any other plate track, but as we know, this is Monza. This is different than any other plate track they'll ever race on.
But I have to agree wholeheartedly with Paul. I love seeing these insane speeds. It's absolutely obnoxious that these cars can go this fast. But as we get ready, the pace car is making its way through 3 and 4. Once again, it'll head down pit road here, and we will get this race back underway. Once again, your race leader will be the 00 of Dwayne Cooper, and to his outside fellow teammate, the 3 of Paul Servant, who we just talked to. As we see them starting to go, green flag is back out. We are back underway here at Monza Super Speedway. We get a good look there at the back end of the 44 of David Anderson. He's got a little bit of what we call a wedges. We see the 89 of Matthew Quick there. Oh, hard hit, outside wall. Ow, that was exactly a repeat of what we saw 3 weeks ago when Artie Peterson Jr. nailed the wall. But that, Mike, once again, is Newton's law there. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion, but not so much when you hit that fence like that.
That was literally the worst case scenario.
Oh my God.
He was on the outside, and he just grazed the wall. But it got him loose, and then there was that stupid fucking wall.
Oh my God, we have got to go on board for this one. So here's the restart of the race. And yeah, we've got to get somebody in here to fix these fucking walls, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. As we're going to see firsthand as we are riding on board with the 89 of Matthew Quick. We are all going to die here in about 10 seconds. Get your helmets on, because this is going to hurt like hell. Oh my God. Ow. I don't care how you look at it. That one hurt.
So hard. I just looked at the speeds. He went from 177 miles an hour forward to 25 miles an hour backwards.
Ow. I mean, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a physicist or anything, but I'm pretty sure he's fucking dead after that one.
All right, let me go get my fucking shovel. Hold on, be right back.
I do believe we have a JCB backhoe on loan for this one. God, that freaking fence is just so violent.
I think what's really amazing is that no one hit him.
I'd have to agree. That was very impressive. We saw he just got a little bit too far coming off the corner there, grazed the fence, which got him loose there, and then he hit that little hump of grass there. But I think it was the fence magic, like we saw with the one Artie Peterson Jr. when he hit it midway down the backstretch. He went full speed to stop, and then did the most awesome, perfect backflip. Didn't collect any other trucks with him, and the same thing we just saw there with the 89 of Matthew Quick. He went from blazing fast forward to reverse speed in literally a split second. But that is very impressive that nobody else was involved in that.
I'm pretty sure he hit the wall so hard, his cat is dead.
I think the cat suffered a traumatic brain injury on that one, and there was massive hemorrhaging. That was probably one of the most brutal hits I have seen in iRacing history, and I've seen a lot of really messed up shit happen on iRacing, and that right there rivals pretty much all of it.
That was definitely worse than Artie's hit the last time we were here.
Oh yeah, he hit in the worst spot.
And that was a different cutout too. That wasn't the same cutout.
No, that one was actually more of a reinforced cutout than the one that Artie hit. So that was definitely a way more deadly hit for the 89. But while we are under caution, we will cut once again to a commercial break here, and we will return with the action at Monza Speedway, or hopefully we don't see anybody else trying to change Newton's law of physics around.
R.I.P. Macwick.
All right, we are back. Keep hitting the wrong damn button there, but then again, I think riding on board with the 89 there, I think I might have got a little brain damage. That hit was so hard. If you're just tuning in now, we are live with the Cyber Racing Association's Homes Now Not Later Super Speedway Series, the Frank Foster Memorial Race here, and I think we're going to have to hold next week's race as the Matt Quick Memorial after that last caution there. As right now we are seeing that Matt is the only retiree so far of the race here. So the lights are out on the pace car. Once again, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper will be our race leader here for the restart. Once again, to his outside will be the 3 of Paul Servant. And then we'll have the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., the 44 of David Anderson, the 26 of Daniel Holloway, the 11 of Jason Kinzer, the 88 of Gregory Thompson, and the 8 of Dana Osborne rounding out the top 10. Looking back to the last 3 spots, we have the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach, the 58 of Jim Peterson, and the 72 of Daniel Jackson. Now, I think what we're going to do for this restart is we're going to put it on Dwayne, and we're going to do the rear chase view like we did when we were here with the trucks. I want to see how this shakes out as we do a full lap, basically running as fast as we can backwards, trying to get rid of these cars. As we are back underway here, see how these guys can go in. We see the 87 there and the 81 down there on the bottom. They managed to make it back up onto the track. That is probably the most dangerous place to be. We're going to throw in the driver drop down as well so you guys can see the speeds here. Now this is where you're really going to hear the cars ramp up. 215 miles an hour as we see the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer sliding to save it down there on the apron. We see the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Oh, and Jr.'s flipping. Oh.
Caution. Caution.
We saw that one happen there from afar, but we will get you guys the replay as we saw there the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. doing a kickflip. We're going to actually take a look at two things here. We're going to take a look at the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer getting loose, and then also the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. as he defied physics. So let's back it up here and take a look at the 87. Keep your eyes on that white number 87. I know it's hard to see the letters there on the right side of the car, but keep your eyes as they go from the corner here. He just gets a little bit loose on that apron. We see the 81 as well. He's going to get, I think he gets tagged there by the 66, but there you can see a little bit of what happened to Mark. We're going to go back and focus on that one as well. As you can see the 87, amazing job saving it. As we can see Junior's car there heavily tore up. We're going to back it up again, and this will be from the line. Here we go. Let's go. And we're going to go on board with Mark. So he gets a wall there once, and then it just working the wheel. Catches the air. Whee! Wow. Somehow that 81 still kept its motor. So once again, we find ourselves under caution here. That one brought out by the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. after getting some sick style points there out of turn 2. All right, Mike, I'm going to go ahead and use your word. It's chaos.
Insanity.
And insanity.
I would have never thought we would have seen anyone jumping through the air like that, but there it is.
Well, we saw with the trucks the 94 of Roddy Klein. He went for one hell of a ride. He actually bottle rocketed out of the track. Mark was able to keep it in the fence, otherwise he would have been headed for the trees there and an automatic reset on the pit road. We're going to go ahead and bring in the 00 here and see what his strategy is. All right, Dwayne, it looks like all these cautions are working to your advantage. You're still out there in the front spot. How rough is it out there tonight?
It's pretty rough. I tried to be safe and run toward the back and check up and all that, and I got caught in 2 of them. So this time I figured, what the hell, I'm going to stay out front, let them wreck behind me.
Well, we just saw, I think, 2 of the most, well, actually, one was the most brutal hit ever, the 89 Matthew Quick. He absolutely obliterated himself off of turn 2. He went from, I think, 200 miles an hour to 23 miles an hour in reverse instantly. And then bringing out this caution, your teammate, Junior there, I think he might be a few crayons short of a box because he did a few flips and twists and turns. You got to give him some style points. No bonus points, but definitely some style points because that shit was sick.
Yeah, Matt, I seen Matt get that run, and then I heard my spotter was going, outside, 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 clear.
Oh, he was cleared, all right. He's cleared by the coroner. He dead. But definitely it looks like your strategy is paying off staying up front because it does seem that it's about mid-pack back where we're starting to see all this happening here. Me and Mike have come to a little bit of a conclusion. The fact that I think it was only Paul around to make the set, the fact that the car is running a limited fuel load, the transition from the flat to the banking and the offloading of the suspension is making a lot of these cars tank slap.
Well, if you go below that yellow line, you're going to slide.
Oh, that's death.
And most of the guys are trying to make it. And, you know, honestly, if they get low on me going into the corner, I'm forcing them below the line. And I'm sure the other ones are too, so.
I think what the most interesting thing is we were focusing on the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer because he pulled off a hell of a save.
Can you see the Yeti?
Uh,
you see the Yeti in there?
Yeah.
That fucker is drunk as a skunk, dude.
Well, Ray pulled off a hell of a save, and meanwhile, while we were watching that, we see Mark trying to play Tony Hawk back there with his car. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
I'm watching this, and you know, you really run out of room if you're too wide in the corner. You have to make that move on the back stretch or the front stretch, and a lot of guys are going too wide into the corner, and it's not going to work, you know, and that's going to be an issue. I'm going to stay out here as long as I can. I'm going to pit on the stage and try to beat them back out, but if I can stay out front, I'm staying out front. There's too much crap in the back.
Well, luckily, you know me, I don't have a curse attached to me like another person's name we're not going to mention here. So hopefully by bringing it in here, that didn't bring any bad juju, and that hopefully has washed itself clean. There's been enough rape showers, and that curse is gone. But we're going to let you get back out there and focused. We just wanted to see what the hell is going on here and if we're going to have enough cars here to finish the race tonight.
Yep. We'll finish the race. Hopefully the 00 will be in the front of it, you know, and if not, then screw it. Oh, by the way, dude, you're bald-headed. I thought you was a short little fat fucker.
Nope. I'm a tall, lanky bastard who's got the hairline of about a 50-year-old.
Speaking of 50, a couple of weeks is my 50th birthday, so we're going to have a race that night. That's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, well, once again, hopefully you get to keep it out there in front, and we'll be interviewing you in victory lane. If not, we'll see you on the hook.
All right, tell Mike to do some talking. It don't hurt for him to talk every now and then.
10-4. That was the league owner and our race leader right now, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper.
I think he just wanted to hear my voice.
He probably did. All right, so the lights on the pace car are out. It'll be 1 to green here, and you gotta wonder, are we gonna see more of this? And aside from just the generic answer of yes, I want a specific what is going to happen. What is going to be the next big thing that we see?
Well, let's see. We've seen someone impaled in the wall. We've seen someone kickflip 900 over the grass. So, honestly, I don't even fucking know what we're going to see. It's going to be something crazy, probably. Was someone going to try 3 wide, maybe? Who knows? But I think now they really are starting to get it. I mean, you're just seeing little mistakes. And unfortunately, at this track, the little mistakes turn into big mistakes. But we're just going to have to see. I mean, I have a feeling that Dwayne's going to kill someone.
I honestly have no idea what the hell is going to happen. All I know is whatever is going to happen is most likely going to be one of the most epic things that we have ever captured. Is now we have gone 2 for 2 with Monza, with somebody going full speed to dead stop and now actually going into reverse from over 200 miles an hour.
And remember that interview, Dwayne said, I will pinch someone down below that yellow line.
So as we get ready to set this one back again, we're going to go into the rear chase view here from the 00, and let's see what happens. Starting to his outside once again will be the 3 of Paul Servant. We got the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, the 26 of Daniel Holloway, the 88 of Gregory Thompson, the 11 of Jason Kinzer, the 58 of Jim Peterson, the 44 of David Anderson, and the 8 of Dana Osborne rounding out the top 10. Behind that, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach, and the 72 of Daniel Jackson. You can hear the throttle being applied, and we already got the 87 there into the wall. No caution will come out from that. So we will stay green here. All right, so we did see a little bit of a check up there on the restart. That was 3 cars involved, the 66, the 87, and the 88. But we're going to go ahead and pull this drop down again because honestly, it never gets old seeing how fast these cars are going on this track here. So we can see the smoke there from somebody's motor. That was from the 87 Raymond Rittenauer. So we can see the smoke still. So he's trying to make his way around to the back. God damn it! I hit the wall so hard with. No, I hit the wall so hard with Quick. I think I've got some drain damage going on as we see. I believe that was the 81 there, or that was the 66 there, getting a little scrape off the wall. The 87 of Raymond Rittenauer making his way back around the track to get in the pits. There we see him going in. There we go. I finally spit it out. As you can see right there, that was a shitload of airtime that left front wheel caught going into turn 1.
Yellow, yellow.
And we're going to be back under caution here. Oh God, I just saw a wad of cars piled up back there in turn 1, I believe. As Mike takes a look so we can get this thing. Apparently this is going to be net code between the 58 of Jim Peterson and the 11 of Jason Ginzer. And it looks like Junior might have gone for some more aerial acrobatics, but let's see what happened this time. We're actually going to go to TV1 for this one. So we are watching the 58 here. You can see him there. Now this will be the lap before it happens. We can see the smoke from the 87 of Rittenauer as he's making his way back around the pit road. Once they make their way past the start-finish line, look for it in turns 1 and 2 here, as we're going to see net code between the 58 and the 11. So watch here between the 11 of Kinzer. Oh my God, wow, his car is inside the 58 there as we see him all peeling down. Oh my God, Junior once again catching some sick air there. We see him barrel rolling and flipping yet again. So that just begs the question, we got to go back to the 81 and watch that. So let's see as we watch from here. There's the initial contact. And there we see Mark, no stranger to riding upside down, but holy shit, twice in one race. Several cars involved in that one, and unfortunately that'll be the second retiree of the race, the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr.
Well, now we've seen a car buried in the wall, car flipping, a car kick flipping, and then a car merging itself into another car.
So we had a transformer, or a transgender car, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what we call that. 8 wheels.
Yeah. We call it an Autobot. Actually, that's right there. We call it, that's what it was. That was the next big thing that was going to happen. And if we want to go out on a whim, we could technically say they were 3 wide because there were 3 cars on the track there in one spot momentarily, so wouldn't be a stretch. We've had a little bit of shaking going on here inside the top 10. The 8 of Dana Osborne, despite getting smacked with the shit stick early on in the race. He is now out front with the race lead. Behind him, another driver who got smacked pretty hard, the 66 of Bobby Tinge, sitting in second right now. The 00 Dwayne Cooper third, the 3 of Paul Servant fourth. And we have David Anderson, Jason Kinzer, Daniel Holloway, Matthew Welsenbach, Gregory Thompson, Jim Peterson, Daniel Jackson, and Raymond Rittenauer. and I can't stress it enough, the word insanity.
That's all you can say is insanity. This is nuts.
I'm glad, though, that this is the second and final time, and hopefully the final time that we see Monza. I know the drivers love it. I know Paul loves it. I know Dwayne's having fun. A lot of the drivers are, but holy shit, man. I don't know if some of these race teams have the budget. I mean, does Radical, Sim Nation, Southern Thunder, do they have deep enough pockets to come back here more than twice a year and have to replace that many cars or trucks?
I don't know, but I'm running out of fuel for my Bobcat to move all these cars away.
That's all right. We commandeered a Dodge 3500, and as long as the transmission does not fall out, we'll use that in tandem with the Bobcat to get these vehicles off the track. All right, so once again, we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break here and return with the action where hopefully we don't see any more of this weird, funky, voodoo Italian shit going on here, and these drivers can finish this one clean and green. But I wouldn't hold hope for humanity just yet. But once again, we're going to cut to a quick sponsor break and return with the action live here at Monza Speedway with the Cyber Racing Association. All right, as we return, hopefully we will see the lights on that pace car go out, but they will not this time by, so it'll be at least, oh, actually, screw me, they will go out. I keep forgetting that the front stretch and the scoring loop is way different here than what we're used to. So we're going to double them up here for the restart, and hopefully we don't see all hell break loose again. So we can see the mangled nose there on the 8 of Dana Osborne. You got to wonder, Mike, what that's going to do as him restarting as the race leader. But if you look to the outside, that right front on the 66 of Bobby Tinch isn't exactly looking all too perfect either.
I'm pretty sure within the next, I don't know, well, since we only have 20 laps left, I think everyone's car is going to either look mangled or some kind of beat up or something's dented or something's falling off of it. Thank God we don't have the new damage model yet. But,
not yet.
There's a lot of cars in the field that have either a little bit of damage or a lot of damage, and it's anyone's race. I mean, we saw last time we were here, and who knows what could happen. We still haven't seen the real big one yet, so who knows?
I think the funniest part is I'm looking at the front of Dana's car, and I know it's supposed to say Impala, but I'm reading Napa. It's so scratched and beat up there. But Dana being one of the drivers there running the Frank Foster Memorial ribbon there. Once again, this is the Frank Foster Memorial race, and as I said earlier, we'll probably be holding another memorial race next week for the 89 of Matthew Quick, as he pretty much Harry carried coming out of turn 2 and hit that wall full speed. As we get ready for the pace car to drop off once again down pit road, the 8 of Dana Osborne, as we are looking here from the rear chase view, is going to lead the field into the restart, and hopefully we can get this race in the books as we see an early jump by the 8.
Green, green, green.
He's going to need all that he can get right there with that tore up nose. As much as as I hate doing this, we're going to go to the crash cam to see who it focuses on. So you see the 00 Dwayne Cooper looking low to the inside of the 8 there. We see the 66 of Bobby Tinch there mowing the lawn a little bit there with the right sides. And Dwayne right now is going to be kind of in the danger zone, as he said. When you get down below that apron, it's pretty much cancer down there. He's able to bring that car back up.
Yeah, it was a good job by the 66 backing off and letting Dwayne get in. So they're
we see the 72 of Daniel Jackson doing the Martin 2X wall ride there off of turn 4 and knocking down some of those styrofoam markers there on the front stretch. I almost thought for a minute we had a stripper on a pole there, but that was just the 72 on the fence. So right now, I do not know how Dana is holding on to the lead right now. We see once again, Dwayne was looking low, but he's going to have to time. Like he said, the only place you can really make the move, and we said it, is either the front stretch or the back stretch.
I'm just putting out there, this is not a good combo to have out there. The 00 and the 8 have been magnets towards each other this whole race, so let's hope this doesn't happen again.
Oh, as we see the 3 of Paul Servant go for a wild ride in turn 1. Also the 26 of Daniel Holloway.
In the wall.
Paul catching some airtime as well. Holy shit. Once again, we are under caution, and luckily we were right there to capture that one as it happened, but we're going to back it up anyways, and we're going to show you the replay. See what happened. Was there a little bit of contact between the 26 and the 3? Let's see what happens. It does. It looks like the 26 just got into the rear quarter of the 3 there, and that was enough to send him up the track. Now let's back it up yet again here, and we're going to go on board with the 3 of Paul Servant here. I think what we ultimately saw here was just fighting for the same piece of real estate. We see the 3 having to check up, and then we see what happens when you check up at Monza. We're also going to go on board with the 26 of Daniel Holloway. All right, let's see what happened here. Honestly, you know, I just don't think Daniel was expecting the checkup on the inside like that. I'm going to chalk that one up to just being a racing incident. I mean, a lot of times, especially here, it's hard to gauge things, and with him being on the outside like that, he really could not see the checkup happening on the inside line there, and that's ultimately what caused the contact between the 26 and the 3.
Yeah, especially with the bumps, it's really tough to gauge if someone's checking up. It might just look like they're just hitting the bumps before, and it just they don't expect it.
And even if you do see it, by the time you see it, it's too late with the speed that these cars are carrying. So even if you've got the eye of a freaking hawk, you don't have the reaction time or the space, more importantly, to do something about it and back out of it or try and move out of the way. As we've seen, you can see exactly how steep these freaking turns are here. 38 degrees of banking, the steepest that we've run on ever here. That's steeper than any NASCAR track. I believe it's 36 and 34 for Talladega and Daytona. So throw in a little bit more banking. This is steeper than Bristol. This is absolutely nuts. And Bristol, they're only doing about 130, 140 mile an hour tops with the Gen 6s. So 200 miles an hour with a car that's already a little bit twitchy, seeing how it's got a shovel front end and a flat ass on it. It's a recipe for disaster. But that could have been a lot worse. But once again, it just boiled down to a simple racing incident where you just could not see what was happening until it was too late and you were already in it.
All right, so now this race, we're going to do a quick recap. We've seen the 89 die, impale himself in the wall. We've seen the 81 pretend he was skateboarding.
Check.
And now we've seen the 3 bust out the 80s breakdancing.
Check.
I don't know what else we could get. I don't know.
Well, I hate to say it, but the 2 cars that have been magnets, I think that might be the next one there, because I'm looking, let's see, it does look like Dana has used his quick fix, so hopefully the 8 and the 00 don't get magnetized again like we saw earlier on, because if I was to be a betting man, that might be it.
I can confirm the 8 and the 00 have both used their quick fixes.
Oh shit, it's on now.
I kind of wonder in the field who hasn't used their quick fix.
Yes. So we're going to go to one of the less used cameras here. As we see the 00 here, he's getting a good look at the pace car driver, seeing how drunk he is. And honestly, I think the pace car driver is holding the straightest line out of everybody.
Pace car might be winning this race.
It might be. It might be tied with laps led right now. We've got the 00 with 20 laps led here, albeit most of them under caution here. I think the longest run we've had was 9 laps, and that was the first 9 laps of the race. Either way, I mean, as much of a dumpster fire as a race can be, it's still fun being here, and seeing some of these wrecks here, honestly, is just the things that keep it from getting stale. We can always go back and I know the guys love watching the broadcasts, and I'm sure they're going to get a kick out of this one because everybody got some fucking TV time tonight. I can guarantee you that one right now. And it ain't over yet, so who knows who's next to be up on the wheel of shame. And I'm glad that this is also a league that I can say things like this and know that it's going to be taken with just a good laugh, because they know that it's all in good fun and humor. And these guys are stupid serious when they're on the regular normal play tracks, Daytona and Talladega. Here, it's a gigantic learning curve. Most of these guys had never even run Monza before, so their first stab at it was with the open trucks, and now with the fixed K&N setup, honestly, it's a huge learning curve, and these guys just, I think they'll be glad once this race is in the books and when we're all back stateside again and we'll be running the normal rotation of Talladega and Daytona again.
You also got to wonder how many of these guys actually bought this track just for these 2 races.
Oh, I know a couple drivers actually had the track bought for them because they refused to buy it because they didn't want to run it, but they were out here running it. As we see, the lights on the pace car are out. Huh. The 8 looks like he might have gotten a little bit of damage somewhere. His nose isn't as bad as it was, but it's still a little jacked up there right around the grill. But it will be the 00 of Dwayne Cooper with the lead. The 8 of Dana Osborne, followed by the 66 of Bobby Tinch, the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, the 44 of David Anderson, the 88 of Gregory Thompson, the 58 of Jim Peterson, the 11 of Jason Kinzer, the 26 of Daniel Holloway. Rounding out the top 10 will be the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach, followed by the 72 of Daniel Jackson and the 3 of Paul Servant. So I'm actually completely drawing a blank now on what the hell could happen next. So I'm just gonna let nature take its course, and we're gonna see what happens next.
Yeah, don't ask me for a prediction because I have no clue.
I'm completely shot for ideas now. We're just going to call this the Monza curse. It's almost like the 7-year itch. So as the pace car makes its way down pit road, the 00 of Dwayne Cooper is going to lead us into the restart zone. 14 laps to go here.
Green flag.
See them underway. Green flag is back out. Hopefully they can run these last 13 laps green flag. Not going to hold any promises, but let's see if they can do it.
My money's on no, and it's not because they're not skilled. It's just crazy out there.
This track is just so damn hard. This time, however, we saw a very, very, very methodical restart there and a great turn 1 and 2 by all these guys. Single file all the way. We're not really seeing anybody fighting for anything yet.
Keywords yet.
I knew that was coming, and I was trying to think of another freaking word to use, but right now it seems like everybody's playing along with each other. Nobody's making any rash moves. So we see them come off of turn 2 once again. You'll see them fan out. Now we're starting to see a little bit of moving and shaking going on as they are racing down the backstretch. We see the 66 of Bobby Tinch to the inside as they go into turn 3 here. Now that is the danger zone. He's able to keep it under control. We also saw the 58 of Jim Peterson making a move there on the backstretch that time around. As they come off of turn 4, it's still going to be the 00 out front. Now we're starting to see some of the drivers maybe getting the memo. I saw quite a few tail pops there as they came into the corner there, so that's indicative of the drivers lifting. So let's see if they fan out again here on the backstretch and see if anybody can make the move. You see Dwayne going down with the block on his teammate there. That's going to thought for a second maybe Bobby would look for the outside, but he's going to fall in and stay in the line behind the 8 of Dana Osborne. Behind him, the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer and the 44 of David Anderson. And they're going to be too wide. Nope, they were able not to do it that time. The 8 wisely backing off there. So you see now the 66 of Bobby Tinch. He's going to try and put the screws to the 00 of Dwayne Cooper here. See Dwayne go low on the backstretch, and now Bobby's going to jump to the outside. See the 8 dropping down there with him. He's going to try and help him out a little bit. Oh, we see Dwayne getting loose there. He's still trying to save it through turns 3 and 4. That's going to cost him a lot of spots, but he's able to save it as he's still fighting to hang on to that car. As we've got...
Caution is out.
We've
Alright,
got...
talk to me, Goose.
I'm sorry for laughing, but I've got Mike in my ear just raising a fucking shit fit of laughter right now. So, Mike, why don't you tell us who started that one?
I can't even see.
My guess is the 3 was in it. All right, we're going to go on board here with the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. As we watch, this was the move where Bobby stepped to the outside here. Oh, it looks like we saw that might have been a little bit of net code there between the 8. Whoa. Oh my God, Dwayne did that last time we were here, except he cleared the fence.
It is literally identical to what he did last time.
Wow. And people say lightning does not strike twice in the same spot. Unfortunately for Dwayne, yes it does. As the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. got stuck there, and the 00 went flying last time. Now we're going to see what happened to the 58 of Jim Peterson. Looks like he might have just got caught up there and turned around. There we go. I have to do this. I've got to do this. I've got to watch this from on board. We watched one death. Hell, we might as well watch the second one. Here we see him start to fight it. He's doing a great job up to this point saving that car. And then here comes the contact, and ow. Oh, that one's gonna leave a mark.
So I just rewatched Dwayne hitting the wall. He went from 150 miles an hour to 0.
Well, at least he didn't go negative. But unfortunately, I do believe that's going to cost the 00 the race there, because he did use his quick fix, and he just died.
I think that's going to cost him a trip to the hospital.
No, that's another cemetery plot being filled. So it's going to be a double memorial race next week for the 89 of Matthew Quick and the 00 of Dwayne Cooper.
Well, Dwayne did not make it to his 50th birthday.
I'm starting to wonder how many of these drivers aren't going to make it to their next ones. At least the one thing we can say, though, yeah, who knows if we will, but I think the one thing we can say is it was again, it looked like it was net code between the 8 and the 00 that started the looseness in the turn 3 there. I mean, I could see the gap between the cars, but all of a sudden, the 00 got loose and the 8 didn't.
No, what it was there, Art, was the 00 just got a little bit below that yellow line, and as we've learned so far, under that yellow line is death.
Well, I don't know about you, but every time these guys wrecked, I took up a new hobby. Remember the bottom split bingo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the drinking game that's played with that. We're doing that now with cautions here.
I think if we come back here next season, we probably should do a broadcast where we have to do a shot every time someone dies.
Well, if that's the case, I'll need to go get like a pony keg of Jack Daniels. Hey, Rick Seabrand's gonna hook us up with that, and he can also hook us up with a badass Yeti cooler.
Yeah, we're set. We're ready to go.
Hell yeah, party time. Alright, so with that last wreck transpiring, the 66 of Bobby Tinch is going to inherit the lead. Behind him will be the 8 of Dana Osborne, followed by the 44 of David Anderson, the 88 of Gregory Thompson, the 26 of Daniel Holloway, the 11 of Jason Kinzer, the 72 of Daniel Jackson, the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach, the 58 of Jim Peterson. Running at the top 10 will be the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, followed by the 3 of Paul Servant. And that will be all 11 running cars.
Look, I'm just putting it out there, Dwayne. Next season, come back to Monza one more time in the K&N car. I'll sponsor it. We'll be the Drunken Diehard Live TV 250.
No, it'll be it's a good day to die hard 250.
We got a whole season to work out the name, but
we'll find out something badass.
Yeah, we'll turn it into a drinking game.
Not only just for us, but for the drivers too. Every time that somebody wrecks, all the drivers have to take a shot too.
Every 4X equals 1 shot?
No. Any X's, period.
How about it's a shot per X?
Yes, shot per X. So however many you end up with at the end of the race, if you're not keeping up to it while you're on the track, then you must do all of them at the end of the race, or you can just do beer fest on it.
I think we'd have a lot of alcohol poisoning.
More than likely. Now, not to take away from the actual meaning of the race, but this Frank Foster Memorial Race has turned into a memorial race of more reason than just that tonight. This is, once again, just like last time, it has been a race of position by attrition. Who can survive the longest? And so far, we've got 11 that are left. Only 2 retirees so far officially, the 89 of Matthew Quick and the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. We know Dwayne has burned his quick repair, and we saw that he basically died there. And I think they finally, since the lights are out on the pace car, they got the final limb off of the fence in there. Not that it would have caused the debris caution, but they had to make sure though that all identifiable parts were put in the bag before they loaded it on the plane. So as we get ready here, as the pace car is making its way through 3 and 4, it'll be dropping down on pit road, hopefully for the last time, because we are down into the single-digit laps here, and we can get this one finally put in the books. As I'm sure a lot of the drivers are pretty much about at the same standing we are right now. They just want to see this one done so they can return to Talladega and Daytona. The pace car is down. The 66 of Bobby Tinch will lead us in. We see him starting up.
Green
flag is back out. We have 5 laps to go. They file off of turn 2. We see the 8 of Dana Osborne. He was going to the inside. Now he's going to stick the 44 of David Anderson. Now he's going to go back down again. We also see the 88 of Gregory Thompson in the mix there in that 88 machine. We see there the 11 of Jason Kinzer. 26 of Daniel Holloway. Love that paint scheme. Save the boobies. It still doesn't tell. Oh, you see the 66 of Bobby Tinch there, wall riding it. That will give the lead over to the 44 of David Anderson, as Bobby is able to gather that car up, although he will forfeit all the positions there. Now we see the battle going on between the 88 of Gregory Thompson and the 44 of David Anderson. Greg able to make it as we got contact going through turn 3. The 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer, and I believe that was also
clear. I don't know why you can't hear Earl. Can you hear me?
I'm trying to think who else got
Did not hear him call that caution. Need you to check your radio connections. Check the one on your headset,
see the
on your
87
headboard,
Raymond
actually, on your
Rittenhauer still
left-hand side,
sitting there.
on your headrest.
You can see him in his natural
1,
habitat.
2, 3,
now he's
loud
turned
and
fired
clear.
around.
You got a good copy?
He was playing some PUBG there, hiding in the bushes. He is stuck
10-4.
now on the track. He's going to try and back it up. So this will set us up for the one attempt at a green-white checker.
You know, I was really happy to see that caution. Paul Servin, he was 1 lap down. He's going to get the lucky though. He's going to be back battling for the win.
So we're going to ride on board with Ray, see what happened here. You can see him doing a lot of lifting here on the front stretch as he's behind the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach. There we see the 66 of Bobby Tinch, where he caught the wall in 1 and 2. Now we're going to look, it's going to happen here in 3 and 4, I do believe. We did see the 3 of Paul Servant to his inside right now. Oh, we see Ray get the wall, and then it just gets it. Oh, wow. And now we're just going to hang out in the bushes here for a minute. All right, so word from the tower is if the yellow does come out on this green-white checker, they are to race to the finish. So we see there the 3 of Paul Serving getting the iRacing Lucky Dog. That will be his big break of the race, as that will put him back onto the lead lap here. So they will have the green-white checker attempt here.
All right, it's kind of deja vu with Paul. I mean, a couple weeks ago when we were here with the trucks, he was, I believe, 1 or 2 laps down, and he ended up finishing second.
He was, in fact, and we saw one hellaciously impressive piece of driving by the 3s. I just noticed, if you look at the back there of the 88 of Gregory Thompson, right there in between the license stripes, he's rocking a little Die Hard Live logo there on the 88 machine. So props there to the 88 of Gregory Thompson. It's another thing that we like about this group of guys here. That one's nice and subtle. It's right in between the license stripes there. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to look from the chase camera here. Right there, you can see it. Look at that. These guys are awesome. You can see the Cyber contingency sponsors that have to go on there, the spoiler, as well as the Homes Now logo on the sides. But there are, I think, about 5 or 6 drivers that are also rocking the Die Hard Live TV logo, and the 88 being one of them. So shout out to the 88 of Gregory Thompson for rocking our logo there. We appreciate it. And we are more than glad to be here week after week with you guys. We love watching the insanity. So we see the 58 of Jim Peterson taking out one of those styrofoam markers there. And how it magically, satanically reset itself. And as he continues to pile more of them down, why the hell not? I distinctly remember, what the hell were we racing here? Was it Indy cars? Or I think it was the Indies, the old Delaras, where I had a fucking cone stuck in between my nose and the wheel.
Yeah, that was what it was. And that was the time that I hit those foam blocks and didn't realize that when you hit them at 200 miles an hour, it tears your car apart.
Yeah, it takes your wing completely off the front. But somehow I had that damn cone stuck in between my fucking spoiler and the front tire for like 3 laps. And then it magically shot out and ripped my wing off. And that's, I think, how we found out about the death jump, because I accidentally hit it. We knew about the one that has been patched on the backstretch where the concrete cutout is. They patched that one, but you could still catch some seriously awesome air off of turn 2.
Well, now that you brought it up, that's probably the only thing we haven't seen is someone hit that jump.
You know, I just happened to notice that concrete cutout is completely gone. I did not see it when they went down the backstretch unless it was just off frame. That was our point of reference. That's how we knew when to line up, because that's where we would fire off the Dixie horn and do our Dukes of Hazzard jump. As we get set, hopefully the lights will go out this time by, and we will get the field doubled up for the final restart. This will be the final one, regardless what happens, if the yellow comes out or not. They have been ordered by the tower to race this one out. And by race it out, I mean if the yellow comes out, they race back to the line, and that next flag ends the race. The lights are out. The 88 of Gregory Thompson will restart here with the race lead. He's got the 44 of David Anderson to his outside, followed by the 8 of Dana Cooper, the 11 of Dana Cooper. What the fuck is wrong with me? Dana Osborne, the 11 of Jason Kinzer, the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach, the 26 of Daniel Holloway, 58 of Jim Peterson, the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach. I already said that name. I've been playing the drinking game too much now. The 72 of Daniel Jackson, the 66 of Bobby Tinch, and the iRacing Lucky Dog, the 3 of Paul Servant. Shot! Shot! Give me a shot! So we are going to do this restart here from the rear chase as we focus on the 88 mellow yellow car driven by Gregory Thompson. Let's see if he can hold on to the race lead here and bring home the W as we finally get set to put this one in the books. And I think I can say this for the entire league that we're all glad that this is going to be the final restart.
I'm not. I want to see more of this. This is awesome.
I want to see a 43 car field. No, wait a minute. The maximum on iRacing is what, 62 pit stalls?
Yeah.
I want to see a 62 car field.
I want to see it with the COT.
Oh my God.
Dwayne, get on it.
Maybe we do that for his birthday race. COTs at Monza. Baseline setup. Alright, so the pace car is down and away. Here we see the 88 under throttle. Green flag is out. Next time by, it will be the white flag. As we can see right now already, the 8 of Dana Osborne wasting no time, making a little bit of contact with the 44 Dave Anderson as we see. Oh, God, the 8 of Dana Osborne.
Hold your position.
Oh. But as ordered, they are to race it back to the line. So it's going to be a battle between the 88 of Gregory Thompson and the 26 of Daniel Holloway. Who is going to make it to the line? I have no freaking idea. This is going to be a close one here. As they come up before, Holloway gets the wall, so that's going to leave it open for the 88 of Thompson. Is he going to have enough to hold off the 3 of Paul Servant, who came from nowhere? Holy crap, that was an amazing finish. The 88 of Gregory Thompson being scored with the race win. Paul Servant bringing it in second, and the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach being scored as our third place.
Wow, where the hell did Paul come from?
It's that fuel, man, I'm telling you. As now, appropriately, death ensues on the backstretch. So that's the third car in 2 races that we've seen hit that freaking wall. I thought for sure on that last lap is that the 26 would have the run on the outside, but he got a little bit too high in the corner. And that scrubbed a lot of speed, opened up the door for the 88 to take the win. But I think most notably, we got to give it to the 3 of Paul Servant. He somehow avoided all that shit, and he ended up in second spot. That's twice now we've seen. We saw him do it with the truck race, and now we've seen him duplicate the same results here with the K&Ns. That was just absolutely mind-boggling. My brain hurts from watching this race. Makes me glad that my steering wheel is not attached, my base is turned off, and I have my 18-speed shifter on. Otherwise, I would probably go do something stupid after this was over.
Just wow. Just I can't even say anything else but wow.
Mind equals blown. All right, well, with that being said, we've got our top 3 in the green room right now, so we're going to bring in our third place finisher, the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach. All right, Matt, I bet you're as glad as I am to see that one finally in the books. Tell me, how chaotic was that green-white checker restart?
Well, honestly, I was just hanging on for dear life. I'm part-time this season, some other stand-ins, other things happening, but showed up here and then, got to help my Radical boys. But that restart was crazy. I think I restarted 6th, and then there was turmoil going on. We saw the caution. It happened right in front of me, and then it was between me, Greg, and I think Daniel in the 26. And the 3 of us were racing, not even thinking that there is a blue car behind me barreling down on us. And then so we go 3 and 4. Looked like Holloway got a little bit of the wall, so he kissed it, and I'm chasing Greg down. He's my teammate, but heck, coming to the checkers, if I could have passed him, I would have. And all of a sudden, yeah, like I said, this little blue meanie, that's, I think I'm going to name Paul the Blue Meanie now. If anybody used to watch WWEF, whatever, a long time ago, look up Blue Meanie Wrestling. That's Paul now. He just came barreling up there and, stole second from me and stuff. But heck, I'm still happy with third. I've had, I think this is my 3rd race this season out of them. I finished 2nd and had a top 10 last week and 3rd tonight. I'm just here having fun, getting some points for Radical Race, and want to definitely get them a 3rd team championship. We can do it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If anything that's come out of Cyber and Monza, me and Mike have had this thing called the bottom split bingo MX5 drinking game, where we'd go in and we would watch the bottom split MX5s, and we would take bets on who was going to wreck first, who would have the pole, who'd win the race, and if you lost, you had to take a shot. We did the same thing with bottom split anything in the race, and I think tonight, after this, and what we saw with the trucks, we have invented yet another drinking game, which all the drivers are going to have to take place in. Every X that they get is going to equal to a shot.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't be good. I was doing pretty well. I had 0 X's the entire race until I think there was just a little tangle, with I think the 81 and stuff, and I called them out and stuff. I apologize. It was told to me it was net code, but from my point of view, it looked like the 81 and the 58 just met and got 4X there, and then checked up, got rear-ended. It's Monza. These cars are not meant to be at Monza going left. But we're here to have fun, and I'm really looking forward to next week's race. That's got a sponsorship for next week, near and dear to my heart, so I'm looking forward to that.
And I think we'll all be glad, and once we touch back down on American soil, to be back racing on the tracks that we know and love so dear. But you brought it home 3rd tonight. As you mentioned, there's great points for Radical Racing, as they will be trying to go for their 3rd consecutive team championship. You brought it home 3rd. Is there anybody out there that you'd like to thank?
Oh, I want to thank you guys. As always, I work tomorrow, so I'll be watching the broadcast while I'm working. I want to thank Greg, Jim, Radical Racing, Chris Akers. He's not here tonight. He's part-time kind of for the season like I am. And the Dwayne Cooper machine brought that thing home tonight in 3rd. So, the Dwayne Cooper, every time I run this thing, it usually works out pretty well rolling down the track. People can't miss it. It's hard to miss, so they avoid me. And Hope for Paws, pet rescue organization out in Los Angeles here, which is actually the sponsor for next week's race. But everyone remember, adopt, don't shop. Thank you, guys.
Once again, congratulations on your 3rd place finish, and we will see you back in the good old U.S. next week.
Oh, yeah.
That was our 3rd place finisher, the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach. Now we're going to bring in the Blue Meanie himself, the 3 of Paul Servant. All right, Paul, that's twice now we've seen at Monza. You've got the shit end of the stick, and there on the last lap, you came barreling in and you got 2nd. That's got to be a great feeling.
Oh man, when I got ran over from Dan, I think, no motor, 4 minutes of friggin' towing, 2 laps down, get him back. I never ever, I thought it was done, and I stuck in it. Yellow came out, I still stayed in it, cleared that wreck, and just about won the damn thing.
I think we all need to get drunk after this race, because with the amount of cars that we saw, I think we broke a record with how many bobcats and pieces of equipment we had scraping dead bodies and mangled cars off the track tonight. But still, it's fun. these cars aren't meant to go around this track, but I know you put a lot of time into building the set for these guys to run, and it obviously showed. You had the speed, you had the momentum, you obviously definitely had the knowledge that the field picked up towards the later stages of the race, and I think it was probably the smallest thing to note, but probably one of the most important, just to lift a little bit before you go into the corners, because we did see that left front was completely unloading and was about maybe 6 to 8 inches off the ground going into turn one.
Oh yeah, man. I wanted to put this out for Frank Foster, a friend of mine and Dana's and a few other guys that passed away last month. This is for him, man.
Bringing it home second, we saw a little bit of a magnet effect between the 8 and the 00. Unfortunately, Dwayne duplicating exactly what he did with the trucks. He stuck the car in the same spot in the fence that he did with the trucks. Yep, this time he didn't clear it though and go around to Monza Jr., but he died as well tonight, as well as Matthew Quick, and I think Mike, who was the last one there on the last lap that got it?
I think Matthew Quick was impaled. I know Mark Jorgensen, man. He was. I think he pissed his pants laughing when he hit the guardrail.
I think Matt got ejected. He hit so damn hard, but nonetheless, you bring it home second tonight, and I'm pretty sure that after the second race here, as much fun as it was at Monza, it's going to be a blast going back to Daytona and Talladega. You brought it home second. Yeah. Who do you want to thank?
I want to thank Dwayne, you guys. A big shout out for Greg for winning, man. He did an awesome job, kept his car clean, and took it home, man. I almost got him. Great job for him.
Well, once again, hell of a job there on the last lap. You charged all the way up to second, and hopefully next week we'll see you sitting on pole and in contention for the win.
Yeah, well, I got a pretty damn good setup for Daytona, for Talladega next week for the team here. I'll be sending that out to them probably Monday, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. So.
Right on. Well, once again, congratulations on the second, and we will see you next week at Talladega.
10-4, guys. Thanks a lot.
That was our second place finisher, the 3 of Paul Servant. Now let's bring in tonight's race winner, the 88 of Gregory Thompson. All right, Greg, you pulled it off. We saw the last lap there, the battle between you and Daniel. He got a little bit too high off of turn 4, scrubbed the wall, left the door open. You brought home the win, and you managed to beat the 3 of Paul Servant, who was charging like a bull in a china shop there on that last lap.
Oh, yeah. I was sitting there looking in my mirror, and I see him wide coming up on me. And I was trying to make this car about 4 lanes wide. And I tell you what, I just got lucky that he just couldn't quite get me to the start-finish line. So I got real lucky there. So, but I got to thank Team Southern Thunder because we actually helped each other out, I guess, on that restart a little bit. So I got to thank Dana for that one there. He actually helped me get out front there, and we worked it out pretty good there.
Well, Mike has coined the term for every time we come here. It's just insanity, and we saw it with the open trucks, and we definitely saw it tonight. There was just death, destruction, mayhem everywhere. We saw Matthew Quick get ejected from his car. He hit the wall so hard. He literally went from 200 miles an hour forward to like 25 miles an hour backwards. He hit so hard. I think they're still trying to find his body in the woods. We saw pretty much everything that we could think of, and we actually had to invent some new terms tonight for some of the wrecks. But you kept your car clean all the way to the end there, and you brought it home in top position. Got to be a great feeling knowing that this car was never designed to go around this track. The most steeply banked that we've ever run on, 38 degrees of banking, 220 miles an hour, and just the sheer amount of preload coming off of the straightaway into the corners. It's just probably, I think, hands down the hardest track to drive with any of the NASCAR spec vehicles.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, the trucks are a whole lot easier to drive. These cars are just insane. I mean, like you just said, we're hitting 220 plus miles an hour. I think sometimes we were hitting up to close to 225 if you were lucky. But you had to lift into corners. This wasn't one of those tracks like Talladega or Daytona where you just flat-footed all the way around. You actually had to drive these things, and it just made it a little bit more fun and made it more a little challenging. But when you mentioned that Matthew Quick one, yeah, I saw the car down there. I I almost got into him because I saw it at the last second. I mean, that was how quick it was. I mean, it was a blur. I didn't even know who it was. It was stuck down there. All I saw was some car stuck in the fence. So yeah, I know what you mean there. And then before you let me go, I do want to put a shout out to who this race is memorialized after, for Frank Foster. He was a friend of Paul's, and Paul had him on the hood of his car this weekend. So we all got to keep their family in our prayers and everything.
And we did know that tonight was a memorial race, and next week we'll be moving on to another sponsored race where luckily we'll be back in the good old USA running around Talladega, where we're used to seeing you guys go 3 and 4 wide. We didn't notice this until we were looking at the final restart. Nice touch there, putting the Die Hard logo in between the license brackets on the back of that 88 machine.
Oh yeah, I made sure I was able to take that Chevy emblem off and put the Die Hard logo there. It fit perfect, so I think it looked pretty good there.
Once again, congratulations on the race win. Aside from that, is there anybody else that you would like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my team, Radical Racing, Jim Peterson and Matthew Walzenbeck. They were both with me pretty much most of the night tonight. I think Jim got into a wreck earlier, and Matthew, I think, finished third. So we got a 1 and a 3 tonight for Radical. So I want to thank them, and also want to thank Dwayne for putting these races on, and also Holmes Now Not Later for sponsoring these races to keep us racing.
And with that race win, top of the points, hopefully you guys do go 3 for 3, as Radical is going for the 3rd consecutive team championship, tonight being a very strong showing. Hopefully you can back it up again next week at Talladega. But once again, congratulations on the race win, and we will see you back in the good old U.S.
All right, we'll catch you later, Art. You have a good one.
All right, Mike, I know Insanity's going to come out, but anything left in your brain? Because I know mine's pretty much emptied after this.
Well, now we've literally seen almost everything you could possibly see at Monza. But that was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I've never laughed so hard during a league race in my entire life, and I was busy picking up body parts most of that race. But it was a great race, and it's crazy to see these fucking cars go 220 plus miles an hour. It is insanity.
I'm literally at a total loss for words. I think my brain has been scrambled. I think, honestly, that hit with the 89 might have knocked some wires loose in my brain. But once again, this, thank God, being the final race, and we see Dwayne now. He just left the infield care center, and he's good, which that's a great sign. He will live to see his 50th birthday. He did not die in the fence there, so he is good. So good thing he checked in the live chat there. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Dwayne for putting this league together week in and week out. It takes some pretty deep pockets to put on a racing league like this, to have it broadcasted. It's definitely not a cheap thing to get into, and especially with being a free-to-enter league with payouts. So we want to thank Dwayne for that. We want to thank Jim Peterson with Radical Racing for coming on board with the Homes Now Not Later sponsorship. And as always, tonight's race was the Frank Foster Memorial Race, and next week we'll have another sponsored race. But thank God we are done with Monza. I want to get on the plane, get jet lagged, maybe punch somebody on the plane because I'm cranky and tired, get back to the U.S. and get ready as we go. Hell, I don't even remember how many laps we're going tomorrow night at Richmond, but we will be live at 7:15 p.m. Central Time on the iRacing portal with the Die Hard Racing League as they bring week 8 with the JMR Outdoors American Hero Hunt Cup Series at Richmond International Raceway. So make sure you guys tune into that. And as always, we will be live every Saturday here with Cyber Racing, as next week we will return to Talladega Superspeedway. So I hope you guys enjoyed the race. On behalf of everybody here at Homes Now, Not Later, Cyber Racing, Die Hard Live TV, we want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.